Oh, and we're live. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we're continuing Sorin's journey. Last time, quite a lot happened. We infiltrated the Tower of Babil, defeated Anima. I found out that Anima did leave one last order for all the tempered, however, which was, well, if, as Fandaniel put it, or was it, I can't remember who said the line, was if it was Zenos or Fandaniel, but that if Garlemald should fall, the rest of the world must fall with it. So leaving the other Scions to deal with that, Sorin pursued Fandaniel and Zenos to the moon itself, because that's what the Tower of Babil was in the end, was a cannon to direct Aether towards the moon, to liberate the Zodiark. Which we were unfortunately unable to stop, Fandaniel then possessing Zodiark, and attempting to kill us. So Sorin, being the slayer of Primals that he is, fought back, defeated the eldest and most powerful of Primals, only to find out that's kind of what Fandaniel wanted to happen. Because we've learned that without Zodiark, the final days that Zodiark was created to stop can now begin again. And then, on top of everything else, we've learned that the moon is an artificial construct created by Hydaelyn, both as a prison to Zodiark and, in the event of Zodiark's death, as a spaceship to help evacuate the people of Etheryis, which you've learned is the name of the planet, before the final days. We're now here with Bankred, Y'shtola, and Urianger to meet the pilots. Bankred's dumbfounded expression suggests he is still struggling to comprehend the spectacle he has just witnessed. We did see them all wake up. All the little Loporrits. They must be the Loporrits mentioned in the Watcher's records. Not at all what I expected, but the Watcher did bid us heed their counsel. I assume the one who gave that rousing speech was their leader, but we might have to ask about it in order to track them down. Come on then, let us be about it. Right. It's a pretty big room, though. I suppose that just means I better get to searching. And there's a dust storm outside. Are you okay, Urianger? The Loporrits all appear to have set about their tasks. Whoever is their leader, I wonder. It's hard to say. They do all look pretty similar, and they're... feel they're even smaller up close. Need to get this exclamation mark out of the way. It will bother me otherwise if I see those little exclamation marks. Excuse me. Leader of the crew? Oh, not me, I'm afraid. Singing Way's the name. I'm in charge of the construction and maintenance of the atmospheric circulation system. Only the crispest, cleanest air for the people of Etheryis, and that's a promise. Well, thank you. That's some ether current. Is there a staircase back here, or do I have to jump from above to get there? We have to. Is that ledge one I can run on? I can get up. Ah, there we go. That's an easier way. I think that's our first ether current in Mare Lamentorum. Hello. I heard that you're kind of hop about when they hear music. Is that true? Can you turn it off? A little bit. Hello. I've decided to form a fellowship of protectors to escort people as they arrive. So relax. You and yours are in safe paws. Very, very safe paws. Again, thank you. They certainly all seem rather casual, I guess. Y'shtola, have you learned anything? Such a fascinating apparatus, though it's hard to believe it could house so many crew members. Even so, there's nothing else here to suggest other types of accommodation. I suppose it must go underground. Certainly are a lot of them about. Excuse me. Leader? No. Sleeping Way. My job is... Perhaps I'd better ask. Right. Sleeping Way, Fighting Way, Singing Way? An interesting naming convention here. What do you think of our clothing? I'll have you know I'm the mastermind behind its design. So I can try looking at the other side. These seem to mostly be the pods where they wake up, so maybe there's... No. These ones all seem like they're more of the same. Maybe leaders had one of them trying to wake people up. Excuse me. I couldn't ask a question, could I? What? How in the... When did you get here? Who let you in? Why wasn't I told? You don't happen to have been the one I saw giving orders just a few minutes ago, were you? Me? Oh, yes, of course. That's the only one around here capable of doing anything properly. It falls to me to take charge of the others. Well, looks like you beat us here. Your friends, I take it. Is this all of them? All of them with me, yes. A group composed entirely of children. Oh, what must their parents be thinking? This isn't a nursery after all. But perhaps we should build one. Or did we build one already? Ah, no matter. You needn't worry your pretty little heads. All will be well, I promise. Oh, but goodness me. We shouldn't be standing about gawping. I must take you to meet the others. Right. Wait, children? If you could run along back towards the entrance, you'll find a path that leads to the central platform on the upper floor. There's no wrong way to reach it, but it's the large glowing ball at the center. If you should find yourselves lost, I shall gather the others and meet you there. Well then, back to the upper floor it is. Right. I mean, nice if it wasn't quite such a climb. But up we go. I see you now. I don't think I don't see the extra viewer on Twitch, which I can only assume is you. Given the size of the place, if we're considered children, they must be expecting ancients. At least that's all I can assume. I noticed there was someone in Twitch a wee while ago, but I just wasn't ever looking towards your character, I don't think.
Right, of course. Introductions are in order. Ahem.
I forgot just how high-pitched her voice was.
My name is Livingway, and we are the Loporrits, created for the express purpose of commanding this ship and bearing the people of Etheryis to a brave new world. More specifically, I am the one whom she charged with the execution of her most vital plans. You might say I'm her right paw.
She was directed by Hydaelyn herself?
Livingway's the name. Map reader and navigator of the heavens.
Pleasure to meet you all, but I'm still trying to make sense of this.
Confusion and bewilderment are completely understandable. Fear not, I shall walk you through it. The people of Etheryis, through no fault of your own, I'm sure, set in motion a series of events that, unfortunately, culminated in Zodiark's obliteration.
About that.
Acutely aware of the imminent crisis, your parents sent you little ones on ahead while they began the necessary preparations.
Also, about that.
Still not following? No? Very well, I shall elaborate further.
I think I'm following. There's just maybe some things we need to clarify. Oh. That's...
Here, we have Etheryis, your home, and the moon, where we are now. Without Zodiark around to keep things lively, so to speak, the celestial currents of the star have doubtless begun to degrade.
Right. That's what the Watcher was saying as well.
A calamity of apocalyptic proportions will be visited upon Etheryis, bringing an end to all life. Very sad, that.
Right.
So too hath the Watcher claimed. By thine unperturbed countenance, I gather this eventuality was anticipated.
The doom and gloom. Oh yes, quite expected. Imagine, if you will, that Etheryis is a delicious carrot that I've forgotten to eat and left out in the midday sun. The most earnest wishes or prayers will not stop it from rotting to the core. So sadly, there's nothing to be done but to abandon said carrot, Etheryis, in case the metaphor is lost on you, to its grisly fate.
And this moon will serve as the vessel to deliver us to a new home.
Just so! We will gather up as many people, supplies, and resources as our stores will hold. And then, once everyone is aboard, it's off to another star. Easier said than done, admittedly, for one does not simply hop from star to star on a whim, which is precisely why we've spent countless years constructing the most propulsive of propulsion systems. We ought to make it to our destination in 2 shakes of a rabbit's tail.
Impressive technology. I dare say it is beyond anything we have ever seen.
It's impressive
No
enough my
need
brain's
to
not
shower
quite
us with
processing
praise.
it.
All we've done is faithfully carry out the instructions left to us by Hydaelyn back in the old days, when she was still just Venar. She was dedicated to the study of the world and its inner workings.
Venar?
And the Watcher, the real one, not the simulacrum you met, was one of her fellow researchers. We and this wondrous vessel masquerading as a moon are products of their knowledge and know-how.
There's certainly more to you all than meets the eye. Might I ask where exactly you intend to take us?
This plan has been in motion for a really long time.
We identified a few promising candidates for resettlement some time ago, but we cannot guarantee that they are fit for habitation. Moreover, the ship can only travel in short bursts. We intend to go down our list, hopping from star to star, until we find one suitable for resettlement. No need to worry, though. The vessel is being refurbished with accommodation for an extended stay as we speak. While we did have to rely upon outside help to determine what amenities were essential, I dare say we have risen to the challenge.
Help? From who?
From you and yours! Who else? Each time we woke to perform regularly scheduled maintenance, we were greeted by the resources you sent us. What better way to learn about preferences and proclivities of our present-day charges?
I hate to say it, but we don't know anything about that.
Ah, but you're still adorable little children. Perhaps your elders were responsible for the deliveries.
Again, about
I'm
that.
not sure what led you to conclude otherwise, but I can assure you that we are all grown men and women, and I very much doubt my elders know this place exists, much less how to send you so much as a starlight missive.
What? Then who in blazes let you on my moon?
Once again, about that. There's a long story.
Hydaelyn herself led you here.
In a
You
way.
don't say! Well, that's really not children. Then why are you so small and stunted? Like little baby carrot people.
Maybe carrot. This is just.
Well, Amarotines were a great deal taller. In the present day, persons of such prodigious size are exceedingly rare.
So, you're saying everyone's not like the Watcher?
Yeah. We are saying that.
Oh, confound it all! Someone could have at least scribbled a note about your profound miniaturization.
That tome in thy possession.
Oh, this? One of the first books sent to us. A compendium of the people of Etheryis, with a few blank pages at the back for minor corrections and updates as needed. The sum total of our knowledge of your kind is contained in these pages. I thought it was abridged and made small for our benefit, but this isn't a regular-sized book, is it?
It would be. Are you okay?
Building Way, can you hear me? Yes, we're all very busy. Change of plans. I need you to rebuild the domiciles at 1/3 the scale. All of them. Yes, all of them, and but me no buts. See to it with all speed.
Perhaps you could tell us a bit more about your terrestrial collaborators.
Yes, in due time. But first, I'd like to hear more about you, if it's all the same. I'd rather not risk any other complications due to outdated knowledge of our passengers-to-be.
I suppose maybe we should help. I get the feeling they're going to be quite concerned about this if they feel their knowledge is as inaccurate as it seems. So how can we help? Right then. Now that you're here, we need you to teach us all you can about your people, and quickly. It won't be long before the final days are upon us in all their terrible grandeur. So it is imperative that we be prepared to receive our passengers to be. If there's anything at all that may displease them, it must be addressed post-haste. And address it we shall. Here at Bestways Burrow, we have assembled everything required to offer our guests the best way forward. We have produced myriad amenities which we understand to be essential for day-to-day living, and I wish to hear your opinions on them. I'm sure you've all worked up an appetite, so why don't we start with foodstuffs? Meet me at the Caratorium, and we'll see about filling your bellies. Right. She does not want for enthusiasm. The notion of Etheryis rotting to its core being a matter of course is rather concerning, though. Nevertheless, let us take this opportunity to learn more of the Loporrits in this vessel. Right. Down there. Oh. That sounds like a depressing name. We're all going to die someday. So what if it happens a little sooner? I should have guessed he'd be saying something depressing. Right, so this is the Caratorium. Certainly large. Do you really need the ceilings to be this high? Even for ancients. I suppose maybe the purpose was to create something a little more open feeling. The surface of the moon itself is a little barren after all. Welcome to the Caratorium. Here we create prototypes of the various sundries required by our soon-to-be passengers. Allow me to introduce the head of foodstuff production. Cooking Way, pleasure to meet you all. Our work has involved no small amount of trial and error, but after many, many cycles of painstaking labor, I dare say we have created the finest cuisine our guests could ask for. I've learned all about the essential nutrients for a healthy and balanced diet from the reference manual we received. Why, I've practically worn the words from those invaluable pages. Naturally, we've also considered ease of growth and production. We will not want for ingredients. I must insist you try some. We have some fresh stock recently prepared on account of, well, because we just woke up and we're all quite famished. Hop along the platforms here, and you'll find a storage unit full to bursting with delectable delights. Help yourself to anything you like. Right. I suppose... Oh, now I actually think about food. A lot's happened since I last ate. I would have been back at Camp Broken Glass before the tower. The last couple of hours really have been something. These are carrots. And colorful ones at that. Right now I feel maybe I'm best going with what I'm familiar with. I'll just try the orange one. From frond to tip, no scratches or blemishes mar this immaculate specimen. Nevertheless, if not for its excessive length and girth, one might think it was an ordinary carrot. Well, let's have a bite. On second thought, you elect to simply take an obscenely large carrot for now. Due to its bizarre qualities, it would be prudent to ask Cookingway whether it is safe to eat first. Right. I do wonder if it needs any kind of preparation first, or... Cookingway? So, did any of our selections set your mouth to watering? This one looks nice. Ah, yes, a fine choice. One of my personal favorites, actually. Oh, please, dig in. I'm eager to hear what you think. Well... That is... good. I mean, it tastes okay, but I just feel... What do you think? Unlike anything you've ever tasted, yes? Carrot of Happiness is full to bursting with nutrients and is guaranteed to leave you feeling satiated. It's a staple among us Loporrits. Carrot of Happiness. I can certainly see where the name comes from. We have plenty of other varieties too. Bleeding carrots to improve blood flow, dream carrots to help with sleep. So you see, we have a carrot for every occasion. Carrots? They're... Yeah, I think after having the Carrot of Happiness, Sorin would be just thinking that they are pretty... extraordinary. He wouldn't be wondering about, what if you don't like carrots? They certainly are something. Then why do you seem so disappointed? If they're lacking somehow, we need to know. I take it you too had a wide assortment of carrots to choose from and naught else. Everyone else? Yeah. If I may ask, what exactly did these collaborators share with you about cuisine on Etheryis? Surely you are aware we have an abundance of dishes and foods you could emulate. Of course we are. But, well, it was only quite recently that we established contact. Even holding a conversation was a struggle at first, so imagine our surprise when they sent a mountain of books and documents with no clear instructions. Oh, the sheer amount of information was overwhelming. If it wasn't for that encyclopedia I found, we would have been at a loss where to begin. And so we decided, rather than divide our resources to prepare a variety of middling and potentially unsatisfying meals, it would be more efficient to devote our efforts to the production of a single perfect food. That's all well and good, but Man cannot live on raw carrots alone. Have you considered cooking them?
You mean steaming, boiling, roasting and the like? I suppose we could prepare carrots in other ways. But our primary concern was efficiency. And what's more efficient than sinking your teeth into a carrot fresh from production?
A rather strange approach to take for one named Cooking Way, isn't it?
Well, technically speaking, Cooking Way isn't my given name. When first created, we were all named in the old tongue. You know, that otherwise impenetrable parlance the Watcher speaks. After we received a great tome of words, a dictionary that is, from our collaborators, we learned your language. Adverbs, gerunds, present continuous verb conjugations, just the basics. Then we found the terms related to our given tasks, and used them to form new names. Aren't they helpful?
No, not really, but it does explain a great deal. So that Loporrit I met before called Nothing Way is... never mind. Wherefore didst thou deem such a change necessary?
When the rest of your people arrive, we want to be certain they understand immediately what each of us does. You'd never be able to pronounce our original names anyway.
He has a point there. I see. I hope our critiques, such as they are, were helpful to you. Though, if you should decide to preserve flora and fauna from Etheryis as well, you'd be able to offer the passengers a more balanced diet. Until such a day, one I pray comes sooner than later, it would appear there is naught but carrots on the menu. Well, at least they're good carrots. I don't know about one you tried, but mine was pretty amazing. Something like this would leave Ariange for a lot to think about. I hate to admit it, but I did rather like the carrots. They are good. While I'm sure the Loporrits would hop at the chance to expound upon carrots in exhaustive detail, perhaps it's time we moved on. Right, well, is there anything else you'd like us to see, Livingway?
I think we've had our fill of carrots for now. Let's move on to other necessities, shall we? Our clothing production is sure to impress. This way.
Clothing production? I wonder if this is where... for current... I would like to make sure I can get the ability to fly around here sooner rather than later. Narratively, I like the Caratorium and the Greatest Ends Vale, but I do find them sometimes a little awkward to navigate. It's not even it doesn't really have that much verticality. It's just the verticality it does have is awkward because it's all steps that you have to actually jump up rather than that. I don't know if I should be attacking that. Right. You were showing us clothing?
Here we are, the apparel production station. We've chosen to employ more traditional methods for this task. Creation magics. Hydaelyn, in her infinite wisdom, blessed us with the self-same affinity for magic her people possessed. We have other amazing talents, of course. I know you're dying to hear about them. I will regale you with the details another time. That said, we did run into a spot of trouble at first. Our magic alone was not sufficient to see our work done. In the end, we discovered crystallized ether was a wonderful catalyst that could provide us with the extra viz we needed. Hi, how resourceful. Ah, the sweet sound of recognition. Oh, you will also be impressed to hear we've read all about your habit of changing attire to match your chosen profession. For the sake of efficiency, I presume. This has also been taken into account with our designs. But why take my word for it when you can simply try on our clothes? Make yourselves known to the workers, and they will see to the rest. Right. Seeing all of... If the outfits they wear themselves are all designed by Weaving Way, it doesn't seem like it can be that bad. I should stay away from those machines for now. They don't seem to like me. I don't quite know how important they are. Excuse me. Ah, it's you! One of the visitors from Etheryis. Oh, goodness me. Maminway wasn't kidding. You really are smaller than the Watcher. Oh, right. You're here to try on a set of clothes, yes? What would you have me fashion for you today? Maybe something... just something simple. If you don't mind. Simple and functional. Right. Ahem. This will only take a moment. Well, it's simple. There we are, all finished. A perfect fit, if I do say so myself. Nothing too billowy or frilly, as you can see. Also light and durable. Sure to serve you well wherever your travels might take you. Well, thank you. Oh, would you look at that? Speechless. And dare I thought you may not like it. If you've a mind to try something else, why not speak with my fellow artisans? I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. Right. Thank you. It's... Oh, it's got a... I forgot how the masks don't show in cutscenes. This is, something, I guess. Hello there. And no one said you'd be coming. How can I help you? You wish to try my clothes? Really? Of course. It would be my honor. Did you have anything in mind? Maybe... Maybe something... I'm looking for something different to what I'm wearing at the moment. I think I can handle that. Let's see. This should do. It's a little different, I guess. Some of my best work yet. You're a strange one, aren't you? I honestly wasn't sure what to do when you didn't ask for anything specific. I take my work seriously, however, and am never one to disappoint. That ensemble is a blend of concepts from myriad professions, all-purpose attire for the modern man of Etheryis. Right. I was worried how the concept would turn out when put to the proof. It looks stunning on you. Won't you go and show Livingway? I'm sure she's eager to see what we've come up with.
Well, it's a little different, I suppose. The arms are certainly a bit heavier. Weave currents down in this section. Nope. Just directing me to one in the main section again. Hello, Living Way. Wait, do I have the mask on again? I didn't check. I think I have a different earring. Is that a different earring? I can't tell.
My, don't we look splendid? The result of much trial and error. I know quality work when I see it. You needn't speak. I can see your adoration for the moon and wee Loporrits in your eyes. No doubt your friends feel the same, having sampled our creations.
I wonder how the others got along. Everyone? Sorry to have kept you waiting. They insisted we sample all of their concepts ere we returned. Verily, 'tis an ensemble most becoming. At least one of us likes it. They do seem to have a rather consistent style, at least. I think it's past time we return these clothes.
I was so confident our garments would meet with your approval. Whatever are we doing wrong? The Watcher taught us that, in his time, everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. I thought we could appeal to modern tastes by tailoring the robes to specific professions, but
I suppose that kind of makes sense. The ancients did all seem to wear exactly the same robe. Please, you mustn't be so hard on yourself. Should we resort to evacuating the people of Etheryis, they will most certainly have need of your attire. It is clear you spared no effort in addressing our needs, but you must understand that we are not quite so homogeneous. Speaking for myself, what I wear now better suits my tastes, even if it is of inferior make. But there are others whose choices may be influenced by traditions or personal experience. Rather than make assumptions for the whole, you must consider the individual and their potential preferences.
I fear we've underestimated the complexity and diversity of your people. Even if we'd memorized every tome we received, I doubt we'd have fared much better. Maybe we're doing a disservice trying to shower you with our baubles and frippery, thinking it was for your benefit when you'd be better off on your own.
There are some who might agree. People who prefer to keep others at arm's length, even when they know they shouldn't. As one such former fool, I'd like to ask you a question. This plan to evacuate and escape the final days, did it account for the reflections of the Source as well?
Not that I'm aware of. We were born of Hydaelyn's love for Etheryis, and the salvation of the people on that star, and that star alone, has ever been our aim. Surely it's better to devote ourselves to saving one world than to divide our efforts across 14 and risk failing them all.
I suppose you're right. Living Way, might we have leave to explore Bestway's burrow unattended? You have given us much to think about.
Why, certainly.
Until later, then. Right. We're all just exploring on our own? If I may, I should like to accompany thee a while longer.
Really? I mean, you're more than welcome to, but there was actually something I wished to speak with you about. Well, let's be off then, shall we?
guess I'll find... I get the feeling they want to speak with me. Was it? Can I uncast the glamour? I am not in... I what you said I'm not in... I'm also not in a... Wait, no, it's only glamour plates you need that for. But if I go to Saddlebag, give me a glamour dispeller. I'm kind of curious now if that was the... Yeah, I don't think it was. It looked kind of more like a red Christmas tree bauble. The last one. I noticed at the end of... After the first transformation, it was a Zama's earring. But I think the second one, from behind, looked more like a red bauble. Like, it wasn't just the lighting when I was looking in that direction, was it? I think so. I've already forgotten quite what it looked like. Hello there. Oh, hello, Minnie. Welcome to the stream. You missed Sorin trying on the Loporrit outfits. My apologies. I wasn't trying to spy or anything. Everyone's been talking about the visitors come from Etheryis, and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I was excited at first, but now I'm worried. What if the people of Etheryis refuse to come? What if we can't save them? It's clear we've made a mess of things. But wait, you still haven't visited the domiciles. Once you see them, you'll understand how wonderful the moon it truly is. I'm sure of it. I'll be waiting for you by the teleporter near the entrance. Oh, and the name's Growingway, by the way. See you soon. You totally wanted to spy. Yeah, I did see your post in chat, Minnie, that work's been hitting you hard today. Feels weird that the no-fly... I suppose on the surface you need the no-fly wall here. I wonder... Domiciles... They were... Livingway had instructed them to start remodeling them, hadn't they? Starting to feel like, oh, do you get busier during the summer? I think you had said something about like that before. When things slow down, just enough you've been reading the spell pages. Oh. Trying to learn what new spells you want Myrna to get. Growingway? You're here. You're really here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry. What should I call you? Sorin. Sorin Sherwood. Sorin Sherwood, eh? Crikey. Even your names are amazing. Well, Sorin, we'll be using this teleporter to enter a residential area. Whenever you're ready. Right.
Ready in the teleporter.
Oh, that was not the voice I thought Growingway had. The first Loporrit who doesn't have a high-pitched voice. Did I do something wrong?
Huh? Access to living quarters restricted due to reconstruction. Then where is it? Oh no!
This is upstairs?
Private audience, as thou didst request. for reasons I know not.
That's Ryonji.
Just a precaution. I'd rather I didn't have to ask the question at all, but I take my responsibilities very, very seriously. Do you and your friends, by any chance, find our accommodation wanting? Be honest, brutally even.
'Twould be ungracious of me to belittle the efforts of thee and thine.
Lovely sentiment, really. But the disappointment is writ plain on your comrades' faces. It's all the more frustrating since no one will come out and say what they find wanting. If there are faults in our work, we need to know. We can, we will do better. But time is not on our side. The final days will wait for no one. If your people are to be saved, we must take quick and decisive action. This vessel must serve as a home for as many passengers as possible, for far longer than we may like. Which brings me to my request. Our collaborators on Etheryis are doing what they can to prepare for the voyage. Would you be willing to go and lend them a hand? Having seen the moon for yourself, you could speak to its many splendors, learn what else they might require, and assuage whatever concerns they have.
Wherefore wouldst thou entrust me with such a task?
How to put it? You're the only one who appears not to be wholly unsatisfied with our work. Oh, quite good at pretending that's the case, at least. Calm, collected, tactful to a fault. Very particular with your words, too. You understand that, in the face of great danger, one cannot pursue perfection at the expense of practicality. The difficult choices must often be made for the greater good.
And so fate doth conspire to set my feet upon this path once more.
Come again?
Ah, idle musings. 'Tis no trifle thou dost ask, yet full well do I understand the urgency and necessity.
Oh, dear me! Dear me! I'm terribly sorry for the mix-up.
Growing weight.
It's a bit of a malfunction. I hadn't realized the residential quarters were inaccessible, you see.
Yeah, I had wondered if the reconstruction might be a
But
problem.
you're still in one piece. So, all's well that ends well, yes? Won't happen again. I promise.
It's okay. I feel I might have interrupted something. I hope he's gonna be okay. It's definitely not a position Ryonji seems comfortable in. Yes, now, I had said Tech Revolution or Starfinder Enhanced. Basically from books we have, or from the book that Nanosight is introduced in, which is Tech Revolution. Yeah, Moment's Hesitation definitely seems pretty useful for a level 0 spell. I suppose how useful depends on what the range of it is. Because if it's a range of if it's a range of 10, well, a range of touch, that could be awkward. But the Detect Affliction, I imagine, is also... It's pretty useful in general. But I'm curious, does it specify whether it just detects whether a poison disease is present, or does it identify what it is? Those would be the questions I'd have about each that would probably sway my opinion. Oh gosh, that was embarrassing. I promise to be more careful from now on. Since the residential quarters are closed for now, I've rerouted the teleporter to allow travel between floors instead. Hopefully it proves useful in the meantime. That actually does sound useful. It's quite tiring walking up and down those ramps. Shame you couldn't see it though. You really would have liked it. I need to get around to using all these coffers that Sorin's got. It may not seem like it, but we've been planning this for far longer than I'd care to admit. Each time we woke up, we'd have long discussions about how to save as many of you as we can. I felt like everyone had an opinion on this or that. But the one thing we all agreed upon was that the people of Etheryis wouldn't take action to save themselves until it was far too late. That's why we're striving to make the moon a vibrant, magical place they'd hop at the chance to visit, rather than waiting for the flames of oblivion to get them off their tails and force them to accept our invitation. Residential quarters may not be up to the necessary standards just yet. There are plenty of other places worth seeing. You've already had a look around the Caratorium, but wait until you see wait until you see what's waiting for you at the east end of the borough. Follow me. I guess I'll make use of the teleporter quickly then. East. I thought I heard a sheep. Good, you're here. Through this door is Greatest End's Vale. It was named as such because it's the veil to end all veils. Most beautiful forest you'll ever see. We understand that people of Etheryis enjoy taking leisurely walks through natural spaces and the like, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. How about we start with a nice stroll to the fountain? This way. Right. Okay. Yeah, but I think because Nanosite is a later introduced one, most of its knacks do come from the same books. Whereas I think it's the core classes are the ones that are most spaced out. Okay, both a range of 25 feet's a decent range, and I imagine that's probably 25 feet plus, like 5 feet per level. At least I know a lot of spells do kind of, the range increases as you level up. Yeah, that definitely make that an attack can give the enemy a chance. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I imagine Moment's Hesitation to me feels like the kind of spell that's most useful for distracting an enemy who's not currently a threat. So kind of, yeah, you target an enemy with it while you and your allies focus on a different enemy. So just kind of basically use it as a wait your turn spell. Rowanway said this was a forest, right? I guess some of these lights look like trees. A little bit. Right. Let's see if I can find them. Ooh. Okay, yeah, being able to identify the specific poison disease is something that it would be pretty powerful. So, ooh, yeah, that is definitely a toss-up. I can see why you're deciding that those are two that you're stuck between. So, what did you think of the forest? Isn't it positively pleasant? Simply sublime? About that. Those crystals out there, are those your trees? Ah, right you are. Our forest is made of crystals and constructs, dotting the landscape as far as the eye can see. Building this place was a challenge, let me tell you. Since we were born here, we've never seen trees in person before, let alone a forest. The information sent by our collaborators was quite enlightening, but after much deliberation, we decided to use crystalline constructs in place of living trees. And, thanks to our atmospheric circulation system, this place produces air as clean as that you'd find in a forest on Etheryis. I suppose the air is pretty nice here. I think we said for curse too. Yeah, figuring out the nature of like what a poison or disease is can be quite nice. If nothing else, like kind of for letting you know like how urgently do you need to deal with this, and like whether it's something kind of is the like difficulty class of this disease low enough that we can just recover normally, or do we need to get urgent medical attention from somewhere? Because, yeah, poisons, diseases, and curses in Starfinder can be devastating. The fountain here behind us, powered by the rather large crystal adorning its top, plays a vital role in supplying us with fresh water. Much time and effort was spent making it the most spherical of spheres, and I dare say the unparalleled roundness speaks for itself. I noticed a Lalafell yawning at my Starfinder talk. Oh yeah, I forgot you actually have to stretch. I enjoy nothing more than a nice long stretch and a spot of relaxation whenever I come up here. You look like you could do with a stretch yourself. Guess there's no harm in taking a moment to relax. That actually... Again, I forget how busy a day it's been. The thing is, you have 2 chances of detect rolls versus intelligence. Okay. Yeah. And I can't remember if it's it. I think it's wisdom that Myrna has to focus on, isn't it? And then definitely medicine. Oh, that's the spirit. I feel more relaxed simply watching you. A sight worth the many years spent building this place. If it's not too much to ask, it's always been a dream of mine to take a walk through this forest with someone from Etheryis. Could we maybe... Of course. You will? Oh, be still, my quivering whiskers. Well, let's go, shall we? That's a steep incline. That's gonna stay where it is, isn't it? I was thinking, Sorin, that I could be more helpful to you by teaching you a little about the moon and what it is we do. When we were first created, the moon's sole purpose was to hold Zodiark, and there was absolutely nothing to be found here. Eventually, Hydaelyn gave us our first task: furnish the moon with propulsion systems capable of facilitating travel to other stars. It sounds impressive.
And I suppose in some respects it is. But it was only possible thanks to all the knowledge Hydaelyn shared with us. We also had a lot of time to get it done. 6,000 years, give or take. But anyway, let's keep going. I suppose it makes sense that the propulsion would be the first objective. So, what are these crystals here? What? No, I'm not sure what it is you do with crystals on Etheryis, but we don't eat them. Oh, and certainly not this one. It's possessed of all 6 elements. Wind, lightning, fire, earth, ice, and water. We use crystals like these to maintain the moon's elemental equilibrium. It's worth mentioning, though, that because of Hydaelyn's influence, being the embodiment of tranquility and stasis and all, manipulating the elements here is a bit different than it might be on Etheryis. A conjuring of fire would sooner dry your clothes than singe them, for example. Put simply, the etheric conditions are ill-suited to growth, which is why the surface is mostly barren. Of course, this was all necessary to keep the raging energies of Zodiark in check. Right. So the moon is basically a sphere of light ether. And this may come as a surprise, but we didn't begin building the habitable areas until after the propulsion systems were ready. Now, considering how long it took, I wish we'd started sooner. Who would have thought we'd need 4,000 years to make all this? No, it certainly wasn't work you dare rush either. We had to create infrastructure and countless supporting systems, some of which wouldn't be operational until hundreds of years later. And then there was that brief period where our productivity came to a screeching halt, when that bizarre red satellite was sent up from Etheryis. The Allagan's mischief, I think. We thought maybe some new nefarious actor was colluding with Zodiark. All we could do was stand by and brace ourselves for the worst. I can't tell you how relieved we were when Hydaelyn informed us of its destruction. Oh yes, there was much joyous humming that day. That's the point, isn't it? They would have had to evade the Allagan's detection. Say, did you notice anything peculiar about the treetops? I mean, apart from the fact they're massive crystals and not trees. They've got halos. I'll give you a hint. It's the golden rings emanating from the glowing spheres. Along with the device fixed near the ceiling, they fulfill a role similar to our sun, and do so better even. The sun and similar celestial objects in the great expanse radiate energy that is harmful to your bodies. These rings shield you from that energy while allowing you to bathe in the perfect amount of sunlight, or rather a close approximation of it. Right. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? Oh, and if you look closely, you'll see different types of trees have ever so slightly different curvature. Oh, yes, indeed. This forest truly is the greatest. Right. You wonder how people would react to this being their local forest. There was something else I wanted to tell you about. Oh, right. The propulsion systems and habitat facilities were completed around 2,000 years ago. And with that, the most important features were fit for purpose. Which was all well and good, except we still knew absolutely nothing about present-day people of Etheryis. Why not go and visit Etheryis yourself, you might ask? Oh, strictly forbidden. Were our technology or knowledge of the moon's true purpose exploited for evil ends, the results could be disastrous. Then there were a few more rejoinings, and it became increasingly difficult to converse with Hydaelyn. Fearful we might lose the ability to communicate with her altogether, we beseeched her to find people on Etheryis we could trust to help. We were quite fortunate everything worked out as it did. So it's only relatively recently in their history that they found collaborators? exception of routine inspections and maintenance, we remained asleep and waited. Hopeful Hydaelyn would find someone who would help us. Eventually she did, and though her power was waning, we were able to speak to them directly for a short while. We shared with them everything we could, including our knowledge of the heavens, and a means to travel here to the moon. Well, they certainly didn't waste any time with what we taught them. No more than a few years after that, our collaborators found a means to convey messages and supplies to us from down below. With all the letters, books, and other resources they sent, we learned enough to start making more meaningful changes to the moon. And now you're here, hopefully enjoying yourself as much as I am. I knew you would like Greatest Ensvale. I knew it. Thank you again for coming here, by the way. I know it was just a walk through the forest, but it meant a lot to me. Y'shtola? Banquet? There you are. I take it you already received a grand tour. A shame we missed it. Going away. I've been looking all over for you. I only assume that's... Oh, yep, living way. Oh, is this about to teleport to the residential area? No, never mind that. We have more pressing matters at hand. I will be calling an emergency meeting shortly, but your attendance is required. Really? I can't imagine why you'd need me there, but if you insist. We won't be away long, so you're all more than welcome to continue looking around the burrow. Now come along, Grownway. Right. Before you arrived, you seemed to be in the midst of a rousing conversation with your guide. Did you learn anything of import? I learned a little bit about their collaborators. Back on the surface. They've spent 12,000 years preparing for this. With your pointed hour fast approaching, I can certainly understand their restlessness, but still. It remains to be seen if the people can be persuaded to evacuate when there are yet no signs of the final days. What's more, the technology of this place defies imagination. I doubt there are many who would readily come to terms with living in such surroundings. Whoever these collaborators are, unless they are possessed of the world's most charming personalities, or a means to forcibly evacuate people, they'll meet with a great deal of resistance. Indeed, even if faced with annihilation, the decision to forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. Forgive me, friends, but I must beg your leave. There is another matter which yet begs for mine attention. Of course, we can accompany if you like. Nay, that will not be necessary. If you'll excuse me. I wonder if that has anything to do with what I heard earlier. Well, how did your own explorations go? It is clear now that difficult decisions lie ahead of us. Preparation for the evacuation of Etheryis is indeed crucial, but I am not yet willing to forsake our world and its reflections. But I trust I am not alone in my reticence. If it was a matter of just leaving our own world, maybe, but to leave the first and the other worlds behind? The Duriange seemed strange to you. More so than usual, I mean. I know he has a penchant for keeping his own counsel, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Would you go and see if he's alright? Y'shtola and I will remain here and see what else we can learn about the final days. If you hurry, perhaps you can catch up to him. Right. Really no harm.
little worried about what the Loporrits might have been asking of him. I don't get the feeling they have ill intent, but it's just all the same. Especially as Jay's reaction was doesn't seem something he's comfortable with either. Can't really catch up. Oh, a lot of emails to catch up on. Wait. Back to the surface. I feel kind of bad for sneaking off from like this, but well, I'm not trying to sneak off for him. I would like to just talk to him if I can catch him. In retrospect, maybe I should have used the teleporter to get up here. He didn't leave the burrow, did he? Why is he leaving? Urianger ventures off into Mare Lamentorum for reasons unknown. You must tread carefully, else he might sense your presence. Pretty curious as to where is it going? Are you okay, my friend? Oh, did she fail the quest? Where to the others I followed around recently? I don't know how confident I can be in not being spotted by Urianger. His powers of perception are greater than most. Motorcycles are loud and obnoxious, though, Mooney. You're gonna draw attention to yourself. I'll also admit I didn't know you could use mounts during these instances. Did he spot me? Is Is our Lalafell friend? Oh, I don't get to see. If our Lalafell friend is catching him this time.
Thine arrival is timely as ever.
I guess you did spot me.
Thou didst chance to overhear my conversation with Livingway, I presume?
I shouldn't be surprised you noticed that either. Yes, I did.
It was not mine intent to move in shadow. Nevertheless, I have been asked to do that and more yet again. Is it so plain that these strangers could intuit it at a glance? My capacity for silence and secrecy and duplicity? When Grahatir did contrive to deliver the first at the price of his own life, I was complicit in the scheme. A sacrifice averted for a mercy. Would that I could say the same for Menphilia. One life for one world. And by that bloody bargain brokered by my hand were the scions robbed of a dear comrade, and Flamine her beloved daughter. Two souls, whose selflessness was beyond measure, whose resolve was unshakable. They would not be moved even had I thought to protest.
Is this a graphical glitch I have going on or something? Did Etheryis keeps showing up as this void? Because this definitely wasn't happening when I played through as my main character. I thought maybe it was... just because... Like, maybe that was... I hadn't looked up at Etheryis the first time, and it's just an effect of, oh, well, Zodiark is still on the moon and the seals are being broken. Yeah, because, yeah, that doesn't feel like it's supposed to happen. Maybe I should screenshot that and...
But protest I did not. Far from it. I pushed them forward.
Well,
No
I don't
effort
think...
did I make to seek out alternatives. Ones that would not demand such terrible costs.
I don't know if I'll immediately jump to sending a error report. I think my first option should be, as much as I don't like the sound of it, to... I wonder if I can use Steam to verify game files, or if I'd need to do a fresh install, because it does launch through its... Final Fantasy does launch through its own launcher. Because maybe there's just been a file's gotten bugged or something.
That resignation weigheth heavy on my mind, as does the memory of another lost to mine inaction.
I think the first thing I'll do is just Google the problem and see if anything happens.
Dearest Moonbringer, who did face death unflinching, that we might secure a means to bring low the Ascians.
Andre, that's...
In her hour of need, I did naught. Dutiful disciple of Louisoix, ever looking to the greater good.
You can't put all that on yourself.
Had I shut mine eyes and bid her live instead, mayhap she would be with us today.
That's...
Selfish wants, born of everlasting regrets. Most days I put them from my mind, but could think of naught else when asked to swallow the same bitter draught. Subterfuge and sacrifice. Mayhap the right moral choice, but one I regard with great trepidation. The calamity of Amarot was a tragedy beyond reckoning. One which must never again come to pass. Thus must we struggle, haunted by ghosts of those we have lost, clinging to those we pray we can yet save. But what of those we cannot? How do we make peace with the dreadful algebra of necessity?
Sounds like Philip's bookshelves. Oh, the Akashic. Is the Akashic record, Mooney, is that you're definitely sorting by mystic spells? I just know the Akashic record is something the Technomancer class talks about a lot. I don't know if I have an answer. All we can do is believe in ourselves. And
Sage
we want to
counsel
know we can.
indeed. I see. Wisdom as befits a great worm. Curious that he should think thee in need of such encouragement.
I think you give me too much credit.
Strange. Scarcely can I remember when last we spoke alone, and so candidly.
Hasn't been a while, hasn't it? We'll have to make more time.
I thank thee. For all my supposed skill with words, I find it difficult to express such private thoughts.
Thoughts like that are often the hardest to share.
As for the Loporrit's proposition, I will take time and consider how to respond. 'Twould be to our mutual benefit if we could converse more openly with our aspiring caretakers. A concern I should be glad to address on the Scion's behalf. To dispense with all pretense and bare one's heart to another is a frightening thing indeed. But we cannot move forward ere we take that bold first step. A lesson I have learned many times before.
What are they saying? Curse these ears! I've heard bugger all! No matter. We've got our plans.
The little rabbits are scheming. It could be awesome. A visual library of perfect psychic records of every moment in history. I mean, that's a few steps up from the planetary bookshelves, because this is not just the universe, but the multiverse is covered by this. In truth, my reason for traveling hither was to effect a plan of mine own. A plan which may pave a way forward for us all. May I say, for there is no guarantee of success. It is the reason I set out alone, that failure, should it come, would be mine to bear alone. Yet thou standest before me with proffered hand and open heart. 'Twould be remiss of me to refuse thy amity, so I ask, wouldst thou join in mine endeavour? I wasn't trying to imply you weren't aware of that, Mooney. It was just a comment on it. But is that level 0 or are you looking at level 1 spells now? I thank thee for accompanying me. It is a simple plan, in truth. We shall not be long away from Bestway's burrow. Difficult decisions must needs be made in the coming days. But I nevertheless believe we are all of one mind in our desire to save the people of Etheryis. make clear our resolve to the Loporrits, I would offer them a gift. But its making doth require a most singular ingredient. Oh right, you're on to level 1 spells. I think you do get to learn an additional level 1 spell as well, don't you? I don't think you get level 2 spells until you get to, I think it's level 4? Ah, an abundance of spongoi. Excellent. I chanced to spy desecration while crossing Zodiark's erstwhile prison. Using a spell taught me by the new Mo, I believe these shall suffice for the gift I would fashion. Magic require considerable concentration, however. Might I prevail upon thee to stand watch whilst I perform the incantation? Of course. I'll just leave him. That's... I used wrong. Careful. Oh, there's more of them. I'm attacking one of those. Harm in helping people out. Oh wait, we're still stand watch. I missed that. Yeah, two extra spells isn't bad. The max level spells at level 6 are... Well, yeah, the max level spells are only level 6, so... It does make sense they can't give you, like, an upgraded spell set every level. He still seems focused on the mushrooms, or spongoi, what are they called? There, it is done. A magic ink. Every ounce as efficacious as that crafted by the new Mo. Rare is the occasion I would conjure mine own, but is nevertheless a most useful skill. The resulting product is, admittedly, possessed of no preternatural properties, but its hue is one of mine own choosing, which I pray the Loporrits will appreciate. This is Living Way? Sorin, Urionji! Oh, thank goodness! I thought you'd been eaten, or perhaps fallen into the crater. A crater. Living Way. Ishtola has been looking all over for you. She says she needs to speak with you about something most urgent. A dire, even. That doesn't sound good. She was also quite clear that she wishes to speak with Sorin alone. Which means I'm afraid you must stay behind, Urionji. But worry not. It just so happens we need your help of an errand. Delivering a package from the Watcher's Palace to Bestway's Burrow. It's quite large and heavy. Perhaps even too heavy for we poor Loporrits. We would be ever so grateful if you could lend us a hand. Kind of a shame. I would be up for it, but it's... Just being on Sundays doesn't work for me doing it every week. Yeah, I think Sorin would be thinking that it's suspiciously convenient, but he wouldn't say that. I can trust Urionji with this. If Y'shtola really does have something urgent, give me... I mean, yes, very good. Let us not keep you then.
She said she would be waiting for you in Greatest Endsvale, or somewhere thereabouts. I'm sure you'll find her soon enough.
Worry not, Sorin. I shan't be long. The good old fixations. You need the dopamine. Maybe once I learn enough about balancing the game, we need to run solo campaigns. I just know it's awkward enough to get parties. Rift could do. Wildermyth could do a little bit, something like that, I suppose. So I could have just teleported to the burrows, couldn't I? I think the advantage of Wildermyth is obviously that it's, I suppose, one, it's got good visual presentation for everything that's going on. Is technically Baldur's Gate? Yeah, I've still got Baldur's Gate on my wish list, kind of waiting for it to go on a decent sale, or for me to just have enough money sitting by to pick it up. I've heard like D&D fans seem to be, it's mostly positive about Baldur's Gate 3, but there also seems to be some, kind of like mixed opinions. I think mostly coming down to how well it captures the D&D experience. Stola? Livingway said you had something urgent to talk about. Oh, Sorin. We thought you would be away for far longer. You don't have... There's no emergency? A dire emergency? I said no such thing. But as you are here, I could use your assistance with one small matter. Runningway, the companion of Growingways, apparently has much to tell us of the final days. The problem, however, is that he is determined to live up to his name, refusing to stay still long enough for us to hold a conversation. Is there any way he's likely to stop and rest? Or perhaps there's a way to slow him down? What is the collective money? The collective? I believe it's... You put the money in dollars, but... No, wait, you put it in sterling. Yeah, pounds sterling. So you'll have to do the conversion beforehand. Yeah, that's one thing definitely for me that Baldur's Gate, and I suppose playing Wildermyth by myself wouldn't do, that actually playing it at a tabletop or even at a virtual tabletop, is that it's not a social experience, and I do kind of like the social and improv side. Because yeah, both in Wildermyth and I imagine in Baldur's Gate, I can't imagine there's any way to improvise. Like, every choice you can make has been pre-written. There's no going off and doing your completely own thing.
Well, what's the rush? I was thinking we should wait here. Maybe enjoy a cold mug of carrot juice and... No. Well, if it's really that important, you can try using these balls of moose flesh. Not to be confused with the other thing. Runningway's other notable feature is his incessant chatter, so you'll have no trouble finding him in a crowd. And when you do, try lobbing your balls at him. Crude, but if it proves effective, he was here in Greatest Endsvale when last I saw him. Let us split up and find him. Right. Right. That wouldn't happen to... Oh, wait. Several of them. They seem to be talking. Is that running away? Stop it to chat again. But also standing he's stopping to talk a lot. Maybe not while he's with his friends. Give him a chance to... Oh, that's smart. This is meant to be a joke. It isn't funny. Sorry about that. But you wouldn't happen to be running away, would you? Yes, I'm running away. Do you mind explaining why you hit me in the face with your balls? Of moose flesh? Wording. I'm highly knowledgeable about the final days. Apparently. That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard since I woke up. I told you that joke. As if we've got time to look into the final days when there's so much to do before the great voyage. It's true that Hydaelyn did impart to us some knowledge of the event, but I know about as much as any other Loporrit around here. Less, probably. I don't know why anyone would think it's funny to go around telling people I'm an expert. They'd better hope I don't get my paws on them. I'm getting a little more worried about what Livingway's doing. Sorry I couldn't be of more help, but if there's nothing else, I've work to do. And I'm off. I need to talk to the others about this. Stola, Bankert, we need to talk. I could find neither hide nor hair of him. How did you fare? Found him. He doesn't know anything. So, he knows no more than the others. Care to explain yourself, Growingway? Well, you see, I misremembered. Yes, that's it. I misremembered. Terribly sorry about that. Afraid I'm drawing a blank, though. Try as I might, I can't remember who I was thinking of. On an unrelated note, what of Urianger? I assume you spoke with him earlier. Did he say when he'll be returning? He was... Livingway pulled him away on an errand. On his way to the Watcher's Palace with Livingway. Between Growingway's sudden lapse of memory and our lack of other leads, maybe our time would be better spent lending Urianger a hand. Now, hold on a moment. It's all coming back to me. Yes, I remember. The information you're looking for is in the archives. Yes, that's where you'll find all sorts of useful knowledge, including that pertaining to the final days.
archives sound promising, but I think I'm more worried about Urianji at the moment. Oh, what to do? What to do? I promised Livingway I would help, but... No, I promised I'd help, so that's what I'll do. The archives are on the second floor of the main plaza, the eastern wing. Follow me. I suspect the Loporrits are up to something, but if there is aught to be learned of the final days, I think it best we play along. For now, at least. Alright. Yeah. Well, given it's an international transfer, I can't say I'm too surprised now. I can confirm that, yeah, maybe I. Yeah, Nam had suggested that Mooney. My discomfort with using a PayPal is I'm not so comfortable with you all being able to send me money directly to like a personal account. Apparently PayPal used to have like a shared pot thing, which is what one of the things like Collective started up to replace. Is this not a hotel? The advantage of Collective is it keeps a separate account that I don't have the same ready access to. Oh no. I do have a PayPal. I just kind of I use my PayPal for personal use as well. The Collective lets me keep that money kind of in a separate pot, so I know this money is specifically only for Starfinder. And then I withdraw the exact amount I need when I make a purchase. Just that way I keep all the transactions related to that in one place. Yeah, my problem with knowing myself is I know I'm forgetful. So if I have this money in an account that I use for anything else, I might look at my account and forget why the money's there and kind of go, oh, I've got £30 in my account, I can buy myself a takeaway tonight. And kind of forget that that £30 is earmarked for something already. Oh, you found a spell that's like universal loom. Take a hit and you dish it back. Oh, good old counter. The archives are right through this door, but it seems to be locked. I guess we'll just have to go and find whoever has the key. This is starting to feel like more delaying tactics. Drawing away, enough. If you have naught else to tell us of the final days, you need only say so. We can ill afford to be wasting time here, as you well know. Did you yourselves not tell us we must act quickly? Yes, we did, but the moon was to be a perfect paradise for the people of Etheryis. We're running out of time to make everything ready for their arrival. We hoped you'd see the wonders we have to offer, but you found nothing but faults and flaws in our work. Only one of you saw our potential, so you others must be kept here. Ah, so that's Livingway's game. Run us about in circles and, failing that, lock us away so we can't put the planet at risk. Everyone except Urianger. He understands what is at stake. What must be done? I fear you've misjudged us, Groenway. Never have we decried the notion of using the moon as a means of escape. That said, my heart breaks at the thought of abandoning Etheryis and her reflections to their doom. If there's a way to avert the final days, I wish to find it. We all do. We may fail, but our efforts would never be at the expense of your plans. But why would you take that risk? There's no room for ifs and maybes now. The people of Etheryis will escape here to the moon. They'll be safe, and we'll finally get to see all their happy, smiling faces. I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave. We just can't. Do what you must, but try not to hurt them. I'd really rather not fight Loporrits if I don't have to. I'll be back in a moment. Don't do anything rash while I'm gone. If we dally, they'll overwhelm us with sheer numbers. I say we knock these ones out, split up, and make our way to the exit. Agreed. Let us reconvene where Argos awaits outside. I guess I'm left with this. Yep. I do appreciate that Y'shtola and Thancred just abandon you to deal with the Loporrits yourself. I'm sorry. Oh, I need more of them. Any more? Growing weight? I'm sorry about this. We need to leave. They're tougher than I was expecting. Sorry. No time to waste. Frankly, that's plenty of reason you can handle Loporrits. Oh no, I'm not saying that they don't trust us to be able to deal with Loporrits. I'm just saying more kind of. You know, no, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to ask, hey, can you deal with this? They're just going to go, yeah, we can leave Sorin to do this. He deserves the extra work. We'll just run. Yeah, maybe outnumbered, but you are outmatched. I'm not. Yeah, it's not a matter. It's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of. I don't know, politeness, I guess. Good, you're here. You must hurry to the Watcher's Palace and find Urianger. Spell affecting energy.
And what, pray tell, do we seek at the Watcher's Palace?
Energy is basically anything that's not bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing money.
Oh, come off it, friend. You know full well why we're here. The time has come for you to return to Etheryis and help your brethren prepare for their journey here and beyond.
Forgive me, Living Way, but I cannot in good conscience proceed with this plan.
Huh? But what about the final days? The death and the doom? Oh, we have to hurry before it's too late!
Your unflagging commitment to your duty is endearing, to say the least.
Ryonji?
Oh, bugger!
Be at ease. They bear you no grudge, nor do I. How could we, having come to understand your purpose? For millennia, you and yours worked tirelessly towards the singular purpose of this heavenly vessel's construction. An arduous feat by any measure. 'Tis clear you have spared no effort. Why, your very names are a testament to your dedication.
Our names? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at.
Names are an expression of the self, a declaration of one's hopes and aspirations. Your use of contemporary, uncomplicated nomenclature doth ensure clarity of purpose. There can be no doubt that your love for the people of Etheryis is boundless and pure.
Yes! Yes! A most mellifluous phrasing. We Loporrits were born of Hydaelyn's love for Etheryis. That shining, shimmering blue jewel, brightest star in the sky, brimming with life and possibilities. For as long as I can remember, I've toiled in anticipation of the day when this vessel might be needed. All I've ever wanted was to meet those she cherished so dearly, to serve and serve well. That goes for all of us, don't you see? So help us help them. Lead them here where we can keep them safe. If there's anything wrong with what we've built, we'll fix it. We'll make it right.
Your works want not for repair. Yet there remaineth much for you to learn of men and your own kin besides. Singing Way, thy name bespeaketh more than the simple marriage of rhythm and rhyme. The songs of Etheryis are beyond counting, and span the length and breadth of emotion. Maps are monuments to man's pioneering spirit and his devotion to charting the furthest reaches of our star. Many have devoted their lifetimes to exploratory pursuits, to venture unto the highest mountains and the deepest oceans in search of unknown frontiers. And thou, my friend, I do not think we've met.
My name is Puddingway.
Puddingway? Yes, indeed. A name of deep and abiding significance, I'm sure, but one perhaps better communicated through delicious deeds than tasteless words.
I do think Ryonji was expecting something more grand, more grand to have to explain.
A judicious application of fey magics at a later juncture may be appropriate. And Living Way. 'Tis no easy feat to convey the significance of thy moniker. When I was a bookish boy, a dear friend of mine was fond of peppering me with questions as I read, to my occasional annoyance. One day, I posed to her a question of mine own. What doth it mean to live? After much contemplation, she proffered this answer, the anticipation of a half-read story's conclusion. The hope today's mistake may serve as tomorrow's lesson. The wish that a new acquaintance may one day call thee friend. She believed it to be all these moments and more.
I want to understand, but
I, too, still labor to find mine own answer. 'Twould be my pleasure to assist you and yours in embarking on a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. For thee. Ink as blue as the waters of Etheryis. Made in haste, though I assure thee, the quality has not suffered for it. The people need not be persuaded by honeyed words. Nay, I have faith they shall do what is right in due course. Until they do, I beg your patience, friends. And with that ink, let us fill the empty pages of Livingway's compendium. An open exchange of ideas will surely afford you all a better understanding of modern man, and with it, ideas for improvements and renovations. But more importantly, it shall empower us to together find a way forward.
I hope you're right. Thank you for this lovely gift.
There you have it. I shall remain with the Loporrits to ensure that all is in order.
You're okay with that?
Though we must needs prepare for every eventuality, you would all agree that the evacuation of our star is a last resort.
Right.
To accept failure is to accept the demise not only of our star, but that of Reen's, of all reflections, and the souls that call them home. Which is why I have every faith that you shall fight to the last, that such drastic measures may prove unnecessary.
Should the worst come to the worst, and I pray deeply that it won't, I'll take comfort in knowing preparations were made under your watchful eye.
Aye, thou mayest be assured that if calamity cometh, not a soul will be left behind, if being the operative term.
That flower, how came it into your possession? Hydaelyn encouraged me to take it. How very like her. Guided by its light, we may come to know her true intentions. Intentions which remain a mystery even to us. In our time, we called it Elpis. You would do well to remember the name. Elpis? Our blooms existed back before the
I
Sorin?
hate to interrupt, but I feel like I need to make amends for all the secrecy.
Think nothing of it. We haven't been the most gracious of guests. Do convey our apologies to Growingway and the others.
But of course! And when next we welcome more guests from Etheryis, we'll have learned to be much more hospitable hosts. Oh, and circling back to the matter of inappropriate secrecy, we ought to discuss our benefactors.
Agreed. The Sharlayan Forum, yes?
You figured it out?
How did you know?
The more I heard, the more obvious it became. The Forum's aims align closely with those of your anonymous patrons. A telling coincidence would be an understatement. Though had we not taken it upon ourselves to peruse certain restricted tones in Labyrinthos, we might still be unaware of their plans. But let us continue this discussion upon our return. I dare say we have kept Alphino and the others waiting long enough.
Right. I'm rather curious to know what happened down in Garlemald as well. Definitely need to work. Actually, hold up. Next time I get a moment of nothing happening, I'm going to... Okay. Give me a moment. I'm going to Oh, no. Well, let's see. It's apparently it's just a common, it's a known common bug. Okay, yeah. I can't find much more about it other than it's a bug that's apparently low on the fix list because of Dawn Trail's upcoming release. So this wasn't happening before. So it must have happened, I imagine, during one of the patches for me. But if it's not universal, I do wonder if reinstalling would fix the issue. I might see if I can leave. I might see if I can do that, as I'm not streaming Final Fantasy XIV tomorrow or Wednesday, so I've got a couple of days to. That reminds me, I didn't post my schedule, did I? I'll have to do that after stream. Was a relief to see Livingway was pleased with my gift of ink. To serve and serve well. Though their knowledge may be lacking, their boundless love is a blessing without peer. It will be no easy task to prepare them for what must needs be done. But gladly do I embrace this duty, even if it does necessitate that we part ways for a time. Forgive me my absence, but I have the utmost faith in you, in all our fellow scions. When next I return to Etheryis, I pray I find you all in good health and good spirits. Yeah, I don't think that's the case, Money, because it's been consistent the whole time we've been on the moon, including last stream. And this, I don't remember it ever looking like that kind of a void. One thing that I'm getting curious about is, okay, this may be minor spoilers, but I don't think anyone's watching who doesn't already know this. But I wonder if it was something to do with the like patch 5.4 or 5.5 when they introduce when you see the 13th from the 13th moon, because that kind of reminds me of what the 13th looks like from its moon. So part of me I know it's not exactly the same, but part of me wonders if maybe the graphics for Etheryis managed to get mixed up during the install. I can't exactly remember what the 13th looks like from its moon, but I feel I do remember it being... that looks more like that than the original Etheryis. With the Loporrit's and Uriange's capable hands, we needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Knowing now the face of their earthly collaborators, there's much to discuss with Alphino and the others. Let us return to the Tower of Babil. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest, and we must be prepared. Right. Final days. Back home. This is just the same as we remember. No one here to greet us, I see. Gods, I can scarcely believe we just went to the moon and back. But we'll have time to reflect on that later. Right now, we need to head back to Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thoroughly detailed report to Lucia. I'd like very much to know how everyone is getting on here as well. They'd only just begun to treat the tempered prisoners when we left. I share your curiosity, but warning our allies of the final days is of greater importance. I speak not only of the contingent, of course. The heads of state of every nation must know what we have learned. We know not when or where or in what manner the final days will begin to manifest, and so we must see that everyone is prepared. Agreed. We may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be sent into a panic. Not that everyone in a position of responsibility should need to be told as much, but it bears repeating. Anyway, first things first. Camp Broken Glass. Right. As things really begin now. Final days. Something not even the ancients could stop. Without Zodiark. Lucia, Maxima, it's been a moment. It's good to see you all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope. We've done what we can for now. And believe me, we intend to tell you all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what's become of Garlemald in our absence? We succeeded in subduing the tempered inside the Tower of Babil. We took many alive, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. The inclement conditions here have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, and so we have petitioned the aid of the allied nations. Some are, understandably, hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that were but recently subject to imperial occupation. That said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. With the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavour to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering. Will all the tempered be relocated? Not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to attend to those whose treatment has begun, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. Euless is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Alphino and Alizé's timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today. Good to hear he's still alive, at least. In light of recent developments, have the Alliance leaders come to any decisions regarding Garlemald? Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Alliance to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower had vanished. For Mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as that you experienced in Fafnir. Those who are trapped within them have been rescued and are receiving treatment. To hasten this endeavour, the beast tribes have received instruction in the magics needed to cure tempering. Master Matoya is no doubt thrilled that Mother Porksy affords us so many visitors. Yes, and we are grateful for her ongoing efforts, as well as those of our comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave to return to their homelands after the transfer of Temperate has been completed. I guess we did complete what our mission here is for. Lucia and I will remain, along with a small force, to continue offering aid to those here in Garlemald. The Empire may be no more, but there are yet those who call these lands home. I believe that accounts for recent events here. So, what of the moon and the Loporrit? Well, quite a bit. Final days. Gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. There is still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. Would you be willing to contact them in our stead? Yes, of course. I will send word forthwith. I will also release your fellow scions from their present duties, that they may return to Charlian. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. The thunder and lightning in the background adds to this. Speaking of your fellow scions, you'll be happy to hear that Mistress Kryl, though still on the mend, has been moved to the Baldesian Annex and given into Tataru's care. Thank you. I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Let us be on our way then. Right. One last thing, if I may. After your confrontation with Zodiark, you said Zenos took his leave, and in all likelihood he has returned here to Garlemald. I have a mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. That's... I don't think that's a good idea. Zenos is strong and has something akin to the Echo. I feel your scouts are just going to be putting themselves in danger. Too much danger. I suppose you're right. To dispatch good soldiers in pursuit of such a beast would be to send them to their deaths. Pray forget I entertained the notion. While on the subject of Zenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounce the Crown Prince and condemn his rule in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects. Its continued use serves only to hinder relations with foreign nations. For this reason, he has been declared Zenos Viator Galvus, outcast and enemy of Garlemald. Fandaniel is no more, and now his own people turn against him. It seems he's not, but his bloodlust to keep him company. Better that than an army to see it sated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray you safe passage back to Charlian. Glad that everything's going well here. Right. No, not to Limsa. So now we turn our attention to final days. Expect anything. I wonder if it was really going to happen, but everything the Watcher and the Loporrit said and what they're preparing for, it doesn't feel like the kind of thing they do just they weren't sure. Ryle, you're up and about. Welcome back, Sorin. We were so terribly worried about you. Though it is plain I've caused my own fair share of worry, and for that, I apologize. Hydaelyn called me that day when you entered the Tower of Babil. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew at once she required a vessel to carry out her will. What came after feels like a dream barely remembered. My body flowing through the life stream towards Garlemald. When I regained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite, exhausted of ether. So exhausted, in fact, I could only laugh. For it was in that moment I understood Ra's weariness from the Tower of Zod. Or that I could laugh at a time like this. Though we prevented Zodiark from being unleashed upon the world, I am curious to know what else took place there on the moon. I guess I'm the first to tell you then. Perhaps we should wait for the others to join us before you give your account. Let us reconvene in the main hall once they've arrived. Right. Good to see you too, Tatari. Oh, it's so good to see you. And feel free from chill lanes, I take it. You'll be pleased to know that everything's been kept in order since you've been away. I even brought a few useful knickknacks with me from back home. No sooner had they arrived than I received word of trial in poor health. And you want a moon! You meant to give me a fright, you succeeded. That wasn't my intention. We have to discuss how we solve this problem. Sorry to have kept you all waiting. Not at all. We understand you've been quite busy. Will Urianger be joining us? He's actually... The duty keeps him away, I'm afraid. Though Sorin can explain why better than I. Right. So, about everything that happened on the moon. That's the gist of it. The final days, as befell Amarot. we are to escape via the moon. But what of the source and its reflections? I have no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin. So, how do we stop this? Unfortunately, we have no answers at present. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarot, the solution would be to alter the flow of ether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning Zodiark, sacrificing half of the star's population in the doing. And it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. Which leaves us with the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days. A feat which even the Amoritines could not accomplish. Unfortunately, we found no clues in Mare Lamentorum. There's still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of the Amoritine's creation magics, but we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us? If we knew that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past, and thereby form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we should start with the Forum, then. Having worked with the Loporrits in secret all this time, there's surely more they can tell us. Forgive the interruption, but I've urgent news. The Forum is holding a public assembly in the plaza outside. Some sort of announcement. What is Father up to now? There's only one way to find out. Right. If the Forum was the Loporrit's contacts here on Etheryis, I can only assume they've heard what's happened. I wonder, has anyone... This is a weird thing to wonder, but has anyone actually paused and counted how many Forum members there are? Like, are there 99 there in that scene? How much attention to detail was given?
Order! Order, I say! I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice. This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Sharlayan, nay, of this very star. Said affairs concern all citizens, and so we have called for a public assembly. You may have heard rumors of the Loporrit and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether. For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld. The Endbearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
The Endbearers?
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties. But first...
Give voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
Is this the enchantment?
Master Leveilleur, if you would.
Very well. "270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself. She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great exodus. For his impressive contributions, and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Leveilleur to oversee this initiative.
Shino is in charge.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen, we face a threat of unprecedented scale.
Vague feeling this might.
We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Surely is moving this. It really is happening, isn't it?
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home? That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
Of course. Take as much time as you need.
Thank you. I shan't be long.
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Urianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Sharlayan, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome, nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence. This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done, that we can still do. We're not children in need of protection. Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Bold words call for bold action, and there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested. Wouldn't you agree? And having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
I suppose so.
Shall we then? To the Annex, to prepare for tomorrow.
So yeah, seeing that cutscene does remind me again why I find it very hard to dislike Fortuno. I'm not a father. I'm not a parent. I don't know what it's. I don't know what it's like to have children. What it feels like to want to protect them. But I can I feel I can understand that it's something that's kind of, your children's lives aren't something you're willing to gamble on. That as much as he might want to believe there is a way, when so much kind of indicates that there isn't a way, for people to ask him to gamble his son and daughter's lives on that. I'm trying to remember what happens when I finish this quest, because I do wonder if now is a good time to end things. I know I haven't gone for the full 3 hours, and I would like to. I don't want to waste time at the moment, but also I feel if this is the cutscene that I feel it is, then this is a really nice place to end. Big talk lag, good ending point. Yeah. I'm just... Yeah. Ooh, it's just kind of... I know, like, very soon we actually see the beginning of the final days. And I'm kind of wondering, is that a good ending point for a stream? And leave it on that kind of cliffhanger-ish bit? Or do I let the next stream start on that point? I'm going to take a gamble on finishing the quest, because that's something I like. Is I like finishing on quest. Finishing streams with a stream finished. Kral tells me the Forum made a rather momentous announcement. So there's to be a great exodus, is there? I'm reminded of my narrow escape from the Isle of Val. Realization, running, a mixture of relief and regret after. Why me? I ask myself. Why me? Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality or lack thereof. We're here, and we'll get through this together. And who knows? Maybe my luck will rub off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much. But enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're exhausted. Your chamber awaits. Thank you, Ojika. He's doing up there. What is that? Is that just in my head? For how long? Come in. Whoever could. I forgot you have to choose a. Who's the best match for Sorin? Hey, Minnie, you came back at a good time. You and Nam can help me make this decision. Who's the best person to visit Sorin? I'm like 95% sure when it was in my own my first playthrough I had Graha visit. I'm kind of leaning away from Estinian, Thancred, and Y'shtola. While I like them as characters, I'm not sure their kind of personalities mesh the best with. Yeah, of course you picked Graha. I'm not. Yeah, but yeah, Thancred, Y'shtola, and Estinian, I'm not sure have the same connection with Sorin that I feel the other three have. So I'm leaning towards one of the twins, because I haven't seen either of the twins' dialogue. I don't really remember much of it. You did go back and redo this? Oh, to watch all the options. I do forget you can do that. I think I've narrowed it down to one of the twins. Because both Alphino and Alize, pick someone you feel Sorin is closest. That's what I'm trying to do, but Alphino and Alize, he's quite close with both of them. Yeah, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to say Alizé. For the main reason that Alphino got the whole of Heavensward. He got a whole expansion for him to spend time with him. Alizé.
Craving a midnight snack, were you? I did consider bringing a few sweets, but decided this wasn't an appropriate occasion.
Shouldn't eat too much before I have a lie down, but come in. I'm not that ready for sleep.
I couldn't sleep. Had a few things on my mind. I know it's late, so I'll try not to talk your ear off.
Fair enough.
It's Zenos. I keep thinking back to Garlemald when he'd taken control of your body. An altogether terrifying experience, to say the least, and one that served as a harsh reminder.
Suppose that must have been worrying for you as well.
No one, no matter how strong or quick or clever, is invincible. Not even you. And as much as it might seem at times that you are, one misstep, one mistake, and that's that. Which is why, even though I know you've heard it 1,000 times before, I'm going to tell you to take better care of yourself. Because you really, really should. It goes without saying that we're all committed to this fight. But that doesn't mean that we need to throw our lives away. You know how I feel about noble sacrifices.
Don't worry.
Right,
Don't plan on dying
that's
either.
settled. We'll be keeping the acts of gratuitous bravado to a minimum. When I looked father in the eye and swore we'd find a way to avert this tragedy, it wasn't a promise just for him. It was a promise for you, too.
An end to this. Make a world that we don't have to worry about those kinds of sacrifices. A short while earlier in the Alamican quarter. Oh, is that Sorin there? I believe. Oh, and Nishmira?
Thank the gods that tower is gone. The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Thank the Ilsabar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum, too. But is it true? They brought back tempered Garlean soldiers.
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
I see. Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Wanted to think about it for a while yet. They're to be looked after in Alagana for the time being.
Meanwhile, in Ishgard.
Another day, another commission of paramount importance.
No, Arundel.
Well, what have we here?
Also...
Hey, are you all right?
I obviously didn't notice this the first time I went through, but... Are these the blasphemies?
Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more.
I don't remember Alamigo's story too well.
And the Garlean threat is abated. Yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much, much worse?
First what? Okay, do we only see the two of them? Oh. Or Favnair. And there's Shelter. Okay, yeah, that. I feel finishing the quest was the right choice. No. Because I feel that is a much better place to end the stream. So, the final days have begun. I forgot kind of how short the moon segment is. Yeah, next part starts getting... Yep. Truly moving towards the end. But yeah, I forgot, yeah, how short the moon segment was, because I might have named the stream differently if I thought we'd get this far. But with all that said, that is going to be it for this stream. Next time Sorin comes around, we get into the heart of the expansion. But that won't be until Thursday, unfortunately, because tomorrow I haven't uploaded the schedule yet, but tomorrow's stream is going to be the Bunny Graveyard. Which, Mooney, I recall you telling me it's probably going to be just 1 or 2 streams at the most. Hello. This is an awkward place to do the ending screen with people running through me. Maybe I should stand to the side a little. Yeah, Bunny Graveyard tomorrow, and then more of Sorin's journey on Wednesday and Thursday. No, not Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday and Friday. No streams on Wednesday. And yeah, Tuesday streams are for the next while going to be kind of shorter games. I'm gonna aim for. So I've got quite a few lined up. And then again, once we finish the Endwalker MSQ, I'm going to be finishing up the... Yeah, well, Sorin's going to be taking a break from streaming for a while to let me kind of focus on other more long-term games. But that's all for the future. I'm going to make sure to upload my schedule once I finish up the stream. But yeah, that's me for tonight. So, as usual, thank you for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed. And until next time I see you, have a good evening, have a good night, and goodbye.